sinzi niba mwarabonye raporo yasohotse ivuga ko mu mwaka umwe 2024-2025 abantu basabye akazi bari 1,100,000 birenga, akazi gahabwa abantu 3,000 gusa, 3,000 kuri 1,100,000.
Bitatu bigomba kuba ariko byaragiye mu kampani imwe cyangwa ebyiri. Ntabwo nibera ko birakireka.
Noneho mu mpamvu zimwe zibitera, inzego za leta zimwe zishyira ku isoko imirimo zigakoresha ibizami, abantu bagatsindira akazi ntibabashyire mu myanya. Hanyuma
abavuga ni mu nzego za leta.
Yego, mu nzego za leta.
Inzego za leta hakwiye kubamo n'abakeya kurusha abo ngabo. Hakwiye kubamo bakeya kurusha 3,000. Leta bose barajyamo bashaka iki? 1,000,000 urayishyira muri leta igihe ikora iki?
Nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, ikibazo ntabwo ari uwo mubare w'abakora muri leta, ahubwo abo bavunika bakora ibizamini ntabwo bose babikoze n'abiyandikisha basaba akazi. Ababikoze ntekereza ko bagera muri 500.
No kugira ngo baringanize.
Ariko harimo imvune, hari abakoresha ibizamini wenda nko mu karere kamwe ka Nyagatare, ugasanga ikizamini kiri kubera i Musanze. Hari n'umudepite ejo bundi wavuze ati kugira ngo duce intege abo basaba akazi bakina, hajyaho amafaranga ku bashaka akazi.
Ibyo ni mismanagement, ni imikorere itariyo. Ibyo nyine babishyira ku murongo, ibyo bishobora gukosorwa, ntabwo ari ikibazo kinini cyane.
Hanyuma ikindi nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, ibirebana n'insengero, abanyirinsengero basabwe kugira ibyo bavugurura, barabivugurura bashyiramo amafaranga, nabyo bigiye gusaza zitarataha.
Iyo bibagewe nta nsengero nafungura nimwe. N'ibyo dukora tubikora nyine byose kugira ngo abantu nayo insengero muri development, muri ibi byose twavugaga intambara ziri ku isi na survival y'igihugu, insengero zifitemo uruhare iki? Nazo ziratanga akazi se? They are just cheating. Abenshi they are just cheating. Ariko mubahehe mwebwe? Ngewe ibyo mbona ko ari abantu huzuyemo ububande gusa, kurwana n'ababande bari mu churches nabyo nta mpuhwe mbifitiye na busa rwose. Ariko mwebwe abakoroni barabarindagije, namwe murarindagira. Ubu ibintu twirwe tuganira ibintu bya church, ibisengero, wagiye mujye guhinga, mworore, mujye gusenga nushaka usengere kuri telefone. Ibyo churches aho byaturutse ntuhazi, churches ahantu hose ziri. Ahubwo ndetse buriya nuko dushaka gushyira ibintu mu kuri, ntitudashaka guhutaza abantu, tugira kwigisha, naho hafunzwe nke.
Ikibazo kirimo nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, kubera hari uturere tumwe zifunguye, abaturage baturuka mu turere aho zifunze bajya gutera umubyigano.
Naho tuzazifunge ahubwo. Yes, aho ziri ubwo tuzazifunga, bajye basengera mu rugo rwose. Iri senga abanyafurika mwara.
Niba munyuma ikindi kibazo kimwe kirebana n'inyambo, ejo bundi mwagabiye miri wa Katari inyambo, Albert Rudatsimburwa twaza tuganira avuga ati birakwiye ko inyambo zishyirwa mu murage w'igihugu ku buryo buri official. Ibyo bintu bimwe mubitekerezaho bizakorwa ryari?
Muzabitekerezeho mwebwe. Muzabitekerezaho mubikore. Njye mfite inyambo ndazitunze, ndishimye. Uko muzazigenza migirire gute, ibyo birabareba. Yes, njye nzatunga, ngabe, nishime, ko ari amateka yacu se. Mwe mukora akazi ko ibyo birabareba, muzabishyiremo. Ngewe ntabwo ngiye kubishyiriramo kubera ko ndi umworozi. none se ntufite uko communicating na leta mwe muzabikurikirana ibyo birabareba.
Murakoze. Next, Bloomberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. Onduro Ganga with Bloomberg News. I just have a couple of things I'd like to hear from you. If we look at gold prices, they've hit an all-time high in the market. In the context of Rwanda, IMF projects that by the end of the year, gold is going to account for half of your export revenue, about $2 billion by the end of this year. But in the same breath, we have seen sanctions, particularly from the EU, on the country's main smelter, Kasabo, and some of its executives. So in lieu of the sanctions, what is Rwanda currently doing with its gold? And maybe if you can broaden out that conversation for me, what is the importance of gold in Rwanda's economy? And do you have specific plans to develop the gold industry? Thank you very much.
Do you want to advise those who are applying sanctions? I'm saying, do you want people to add more sanctions to stop that, or what?
No, I want to know if you're not selling it to the EU, because Rwanda also has a really big deal, about $900 million mineral deal with the EU.
Yeah.
So if they're off the table, if that is frozen, what is currently happening?
There's nothing frozen. There's nothing frozen. You know what they sanctioned? They are individuals who led that refinery. But the refinery operates, right?
So that I don't misquote you, Rwanda is still selling its gold to the EU.
It's selling gold to the market. Whether EU, the Gulf region, or United States. I don't know whether I understand, I'm getting your question properly. But there is definitely gold. We have gold here, by the way. Do you know it? You know a place called Mujye? You have heard? During the war, our war of 92-3, our soldiers were operating in that region. Mujye, there is a swamp, you know it? In Chumbi. Our fighters woke up and found some stones they didn't know flowing along the river, and they picked that stuff. And in fact, we sold it, sent it through to Uganda, sold it. It bought us, we were able to buy some meals for a week, just from the gold we picked. The mining still goes on artisanal, and now they are doing deep exploration to see if there is gold in Nyamagabe area, near Nyungwe. A lot of gold comes from there, and so on and so on. Then more gold comes from, and gold has been coming through here or sold here from Congo as it goes through Burundi or goes through Uganda. So there's nothing particular about gold and Rwanda that people should blah, blah, blah about. Even the refinery, but you know the sanctions, if you followed, the sanctions, they sanctions 2 individuals. What does that have to do with gold? Impact of Rwanda on the market, or?
The value of gold to Rwanda's economy and if you're planning to build one industry.
Well, it must be there. I haven't calculated it, but the impact must be positive, must be there, relative to the price of gold going up. I've been seeing it is now at around 4,000. Yes, 4,000 plus dollars per ounce, I think. That's huge. As you see it, you may end up, and it has nothing to do with Rwanda, you may end up having wars around gold. those who need it and those who produce it in the world. And those who have more will get more involved than those of us. We are talking about young or small people. Rwanda always carries the burden of the whole world by itself. You know, there are people doing everything, even in a worse form than probably we're accused of, but they prefer to point at Rwanda for everything. Can you imagine Rwanda being a point of reference to do with this global network of gold trade? You get it clearly that it is politics, it is geopolitics, it is some nastiness that goes on every day. Otherwise, how does Rwanda really surface in all this?
Thank you, Mr. President. We'll
Someone else want
yes,
to?
one last question from Jackie.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, my name is Jackie Lumbasi. I host the Real Talk on RTV. And Your Excellency, what I do on this program is try to bring out the person behind the title. There's a former Prime Minister who was once asked what was the toughest part about his job, and he said the toughest part of his job was parenting his son. And to someone else, they would think when you're a president or you're a prime minister, that should be the hardest job. Mm-hmm. I would love to hear from you as a parent. So in this case, putting aside the president, I would love to talk to PK, the father, the grandfather. If you've ever had to struggle with anything as a parent, what would that be? And then with the grandchildren growing, I wonder if you're picking them from school, or dropping them there. What have they done lately that got you smiling? Some of the images that I've seen online of you, the most beautiful images are those of you around your family. So clearly, the family means a lot to you. And so as you also talk to Rwanda's young people about preserving what we have built as a country, protecting what we have, someone could think maybe you're not talking to your children as well. They could try to put them on the side. As you watch your granddaughters grow and the many other grandchildren that will come, how would you like them to view Rwanda's transformational journey and the role that their grandfather has played? Thank you, Your Excellency.
That sounds like a long story to tell. But, well, thank you to in any case, bring it up and reference that. My family, whether immediate or the generations springing from that, first and foremost, the central part of me and what I do and how I do it, but above all, I enjoy it. I enjoy family. I don't find any problems except running around with children so they don't break their legs or fingers or something, but it's all enjoyable, 100%. But in doing that, you want your own children or those from them, as they grow up, to just be decent people in their lives. Decent meaning the core part being what is expected of them in society and by so. But also making their own mistakes and owning up and growing with a purpose that they can live and lead in the society where they grow up in. They must have some bearing, the bearing being the Rwanda, the family, so we would, and for those ones, rather than the grandchildren. The children, we once in a while we have a discussion around that. And I have time to tell them my experience, my life, young, middle age, growing up to the age where I am, and all that the family, my wife and I have had to go through to make sure that first we survive and they survive. And so the efforts can't be for nothing. The efforts can only be for the fact that they must grow up as decent human beings as much as they can. I can tell them so much, but only they can do so much. And if they can learn from that, which we always have to insist and they do, well, that's it. And actually the issue of them growing up as president's son or daughter or grandchildren does not feature much. We try to remove that from the conversation as much as we can. They just have to grow up as decent human beings. If they become presidents themselves or become whatever they want to become or become nothing, that's up to them. They know how to live with it. Yeah, so, but it forms a big, big part of my life, and it feeds into the energy to do what I can do, and without a doubt. Someone, another person maybe?
Thank you, Mr. President.
These two, now they are four.
Some of them are raising for the second time.
No, not for the second time, no.
Yes, we can go to Jado.
Murakoze nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika. Biriya abantu mwagarutseho nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika muri iyi minsi, ahubwo nyuma ya COVID biragaragara ko intambara zishingiye ku kwigwizaho imitungo zongeye kuba nyinshi. Ingaruka zimwe za hafi ni uko ibikomoka kuri peteroli birimo guhenda, ibihugu nk'icyacu bidakora ku nyanja, ndetse tukaba twinjiza byinshi birenze bisohoka. Cost of living nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika irimo irazamuka. Nkaba mvuga nti ko bigaragara ko ibyinjira mu gihugu birimo bihagera bihenze, ibikomoka kuri peteroli bigahenda, mu kubigura umunyarwanda ku isoko ibiciro bikaba bitoroshye, ingamba zibacyuho za leta y'u Rwanda zo mu gihe gito cyangwa se ku buryo burambye zaba ari izihe nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika?
Usibye ibyo bibazo biriho kandi bimwe byumvikana tugomba guhora dushakira umuti, reka tubanze tunahere gusubiza amaso inyuma urebe aho tuvuye n'aho tugeze, n'ubukungu actually buhora bukura buri mwaka. Ubu turi mu ba mbere ku isi bafite ubukungu bukura, nuko ari igihugu cyangwa ari ubukungu bukeya gusa. Ntabwo ari igihugu kinini, ntabwo ari ekonomi nini, igihugu gitoya, ariko ubukungu bwacu buhora bukura buri mwaka. N'umwaka ushize n'uyu nguyu biragaragara ko turagenda tujya hejuru iteka ya karindwi n'igice ku ijana. Ntabwo ukwiye kwibwira ko biva ku busa. Niyo urebye n'imibereho y'abaturage, mu myaka 20 ishize yakomeje irushaho abaturage umubare wabo uriyongera ariko n'imibereho yabo igenda yiyongera byaba buhoro gato byabaho byihuta ariko biriyongera ntabwo bisubira inyuma ibijyanye rero n'ibyo bijyanye n'ubukungu ku buryo bw'ibyinjira ibisohoka bavugaga ingamba ya mbere ni ukugira ngo ibyo twohereza hanze birute ibyo tuvana hanze nibyo byatuzamurira ubukungu kurusha tugatubura agaciro tugatubura n'ubwinshi bw'ubukungu izo nizo ngamba buri kintu cyose dukora biva mu bintu byinshi bitandukanye iyo ugiye kureba no mu bukerarugendo igihugu gisurwa abantu bava hanze mu mwaka nyirango ushize barenze miliyoni n'ibihumbi 300 cyangwa 400 amafaranga avuyemo arenga miliyoni 600 ibi byose ni ibintu dushaka ko bikomeza gukura ariko birakura harimo ikibazo cyo kirahari kijyanye nuko ufata ibyo ufite ubu ukabigeranya n'ibyo ukeneye ubu usanga ikinyuranyo ari kinini nyine ariko niyo mpamvu abantu bagomba guhora bakora uko bishobotse ku bintu byose rero guteza imbere inganda guteza imbere ubucuruzi ndetse bw'ibiva hanze bukaza bwubaka ibyo dukora mu gihugu hari ibintu byinshi tumaze kunyuramo byari bikwiye kuba bitwigisha uko dukwiriye kuba tubikora icyo navuga rero ni ugukorana ni ugukorera hamwe ni ukugira ngo abaturage n'abatwumva bumve ko ingorane zo zirahari ariko inzira irahari yo kuzivamo kandi hari ibikorwa bigereranyije ndetse n'ahandi usanga turi mu ba mbere bagenda bagerageza gukora ibishoboka.
Thank you, Mr. President. We may take one last one from Fola.
I think you have to do a lot of tombora.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Fola from the Radio Masterclass, Lagos, Nigeria. I want to ask you a question, sir, about women. So in many African countries, women
That
struggle.
must be easy question.
I'm sure that it is. So it's about women and access to reproductive health. I have been in Rwanda for 3 years now, and I have seen from personal experience that Rwanda has actually made significant progress in expanding access, because I can confirm that IUDs that are costing women in some of the countries as much as $300 have been given in hospitals for free here. So my question is, what deliberate policies and investments or institutional reforms did Rwanda do for this to be possible, and what steps would you urge other African leaders to take if they want to replicate this success in making sure that women have this affordable reproductive health services for women? Thank you, sir.
Well, I don't want to advise anybody for avoidance of being misunderstood. But the first thing is for people to have in their minds, one, importance of women as a big part of their society, their population, and make sure that you look at the whole population and you look at the different categories of that population, where it is the young people, it's the women, it's men, that is the starting point. And as long as you put Yeah, well, in some cases, you may look at the population, you say, oh, you want your population to be this, to do this. But at the same time, you are just doing the ordinary thing, and in most cases, you are just thinking about men, because they are the ones who are even at the top there thinking and doing things, as in some cases, due to the imbalance we have had in our politics and society. But if you think of women and their specific needs, but also build their involvement around that, you will get the rest right. Therefore, in thinking about good health for your population, you must be seeing certain things that affect different groups. As I said, children, they have different needs in society when it comes to their health. Then we can say men, but particularly women in this case, and so on and so forth, so that you go fixing. But you are here looking at them under health, but the society that you are managing and that you have to do the best for. This is